Hello everyone and welcome to the final tipping video of the season. This ideally comes out pretty much right before round 21 starts. I'm cutting it really close here. But yeah, these, as I just mentioned, these are coming out before round 21. So if by some miracle, I'm not sure, maybe... Really, what would be... St Kilda beat Brisbane and Gold Coast beat West Coast by like 50 points and other incredible events happen this round. And I make look like an idiot. This is recorded before said round, which anything can happen in. But without further ado, let's get into the tips. Tips. I'm so used to tipping videos. The predictions. So... I'm going to start with 1 to 4 and 14 to 18, the top 4 and the bottom 5, because those are by far the easiest. So in last, I have Richmond. That should be pretty obvious. They're not better than North Melbourne. They'll lose to North Melbourne. But another team that I don't think is better than North Melbourne and that will also lose to North Melbourne is West Coast. You can see my cursor hovering over their logo, so that was a bit of a giveaway. But yeah, West Coast, I also think they'll lose to North Melbourne and they'll be overtaken as a result of North Melbourne getting a couple wins. And then I have North Melbourne. It's really the bottom 3 and then 2 and then everyone else, really. It's crazy, but I've broken it up into this block here. Then I have Adelaide, and St Kilda, simply because that's the order they're in now. I don't see them really... I mean, I could see Adelaide going... It doesn't matter. They're around the same level in my eyes. Well, yeah, they've both been really disappointing. They're really the same narrative, except one made finals last year and one should have made finals last year. But my Sydney Swans beat Adelaide and made it into the finals, which is extremely controversial, and I'm not going to hover over that anymore because of Adelaide fan controversy. First is Sydney, and second is the Lions. Pretty obvious, those two. Top 2, that's pretty locked in for now. Brisbane could overtake Sydney, but I doubt it will happen. Sydney would have to lose half of their remaining games, and they play Collingwood at home, Essendon away, Adelaide at home, and Port Adelaide away. The only one of those I can feasibly see us losing is the Port Adelaide game this weekend. Apart from that, we should win all of them. The Lions, they should win all their games, so they'll finish second. I think a game above the rest, this will be the cut. These two will be the team to beat. At their best, yes, Sydney are better, but can we find our best? Not sure. Our best was definitely round 10 against Carlton. Anyway, moving on to 3rd and 4th. Purely decided by fixture difficulty, I have Fremantle and Carlton, but Fremantle's in 4th. I just wanted to trick you guys there. Ha ha ha. Yep, Carlton has a slightly easier fixture. That's literally the entire reason I'm putting them there. They have an easier fixture. I'm joking. I'll talk about these guys for a little bit. Carlton have had a recent form slump, but I still think they'll get their act together. And Freo have just been consistently good for a while, which is a miracle for Fremantle. Them, the Western Bulldogs, and, I don't know, Gold Coast are weird with their consistent inconsistency. Are the most inconsistent teams in the competition, and I hate predicting their games. Anyway, without my mini rant abrupting proceedings, Giants will take out 5th place. They're a little bit of they're kind of in no man's land. They're not in the 4, but they're not in the mad rush to get into finals. They had a massive mid-season form slump that saw a lot of people putting them outside the 8. Not me, other people. But they've got their act together. They beat Carlton. They beat Gold Coast. Definitely got their act together. And they beat Melbourne. That was the other team. But yeah, Giants will finish 5th. And then the next 3 teams, Bulldogs, Geelong, and the Hawks. That's my 8 there. That's my top 8. Bulldogs, they have a lot of momentum. Bear in mind, Geelong were a top 4 side when Bulldogs beat them. They beat in this order Carlton, Geelong, and Sydney, all in back-to-back weeks. They have Melbourne in about 20 minutes. I'm really stiff time on this one, so I'm gonna start hurrying things up. But yeah, they'll win that. They'll make it to 6. They'll probably have a couple bad losses, but I reckon they've done enough to make it to finals, and they could be a contender. It's funny, I think, like, minus Brisbane, like if you swap Geelong and Brisbane, these 4 sides, let me actually visually do it for you. These 4 sides should be the top 4, not in this order, and these 4 sides should be in the bottom 4 of the 8 for current form. I'm not going to arrange that because that'd be way too far, and I did mention I'm short on time, so let me put that back. Geelong and Hawthorn, pretty self-explanatory. Geelong won't fall out of the 8. The Hawks will jump into the 8 ahead of Port Adelaide, Melbourne, Essendon, Collingwood, and then Gold Coast. Gold Coast, they have 3 away games, 2 home games. They'll win. They'll get over double-digit wins, which for Gold Coast is pretty good. But it's a real disappointment. Like, they should be in here. I don't know, these should be out. I'm not sure, honestly. Collingwood, injuries, but it's not fully to blame. I feel it necessary to compare their injury list from this year, in fact, them from this year to Sydney from last year. Both had big injury lists, both coming off a grand final, although Collingwood won theirs. We don't talk about what happened in Sydney's. But yeah, so same but different. But yeah, Collingwood will finish outside the 8, in my opinion. They'll finish just behind Essendon, who are in the same boat as Collingwood, minus the injuries. They're just in bad form, like really bad form. They were in 2nd for a while, and honestly, I know everyone predicted them to fall, but like around round 10, round 12, everyone's sort of like, come on, fall. But then they stayed in the top 4 till, I don't know, like round 16 or something, and then all the eyes were just, hang on, are they going to be in the top 4 by the end of the year? And even at the time where I recorded my Essendon run home video, I thought they were still fighting for the top 4. It's quite ridiculous. But no, alas, for Essendon fans, they have fallen, and I think they'll finish 11th. Melbourne in 10th and Port Adelaide in 9th. Really not much to say. They could swap with those 2, and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like, I just think this is how the cookie will crumble, just because that's what I think will happen. You got to have teams that fall out of the 8 towards the end, and you got to have teams that jump in, a bit like GWS did last year. They jumped in the very last round of the season, knocking out the Bulldogs, who honestly did not deserve to be in the finals as they lost to 2023 West Coast. But that is it. In 18th, Richmond, 17th, West Coast, 16th, North Melbourne, 15th, Adelaide, 14th, St Kilda, 13th, Gold Coast, 11th, Essendon, 12th, Collingwood, 10th, Melbourne, 9th, the Port Adelaide Power, 8th, Hawks, 7th, Geelong, 6th, Fitzroy. Yeah, they're Fitzroy again. I better start calling them that. 5th, the Giants. 4th, Fremantle. And also, like, Fremantle, like, they're in the 4. Like, this is just my predictions, but that's a pretty big leap from, like, 13th or 14th, what they were last year. So it just goes to show how inconsistent they are as a team, not only in week to week, but year to year. Minor rant aside, 3rd is Carlton, 2nd is the Lions, and 1st is my Sydney Swans. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. It really helps me out, and maybe drop a like. That's all from me. I'll see you in the next one.